All right, friends, welcome back again to the episode of Tactical Enlightenment. And if the interface seems unusual, if the landscape seems unusual, that is because we are going to play at least a few battles here with the Captain's Mode. We are online, Bannerlord multiplayer. This is my first foray into this, and I watched for a few minutes here. We got destroyed in about 5 minutes of just a death match running around. My ping, I guess that's what you guys call it, your latency, is not particularly good. It's almost 200. A lot of these guys are at 50. I think that's a major disadvantage when it comes to hand-to-hand against other players, etc. Let's see how the Captain's Mode goes. It looks like we get to choose a single army type. There's, I think, 6-7 other players on our team. There's some flags or ABC locations you got to run to. It's kind of like it looks like it's a capture the flag style battle. 9 minutes. We've got 47 skirmishers, 47 wildlings. They don't look like wildlings. They're like an amalgamation of different units. I suppose they don't want to unbalance the game by giving you true wildlings with their incredible athleticism and 10 javelins, although we shall see. And again, no experience with this. There's no communication at all. I don't expect this to go particularly well. I watched a few minutes here, and the players seemed like they were just kind of acting on their own. We're going to try to have some semblance of tactics here and give you guys just a little look to see whether or not Captain's Mode is actually worth playing. I suspect the guys that communicate would destroy everything, and the guys that don't communicate would be the ones getting destroyed. And unfortunately, I don't see any commands going on here. They're going, okay, so we're communicating a little tiny bit down below. Unfortunately, our divisions aren't coordinating at all. There's 3 different divisions running to the left. We're running to the right. I guess we're heading towards C. We're getting shot at here. We're going to lead out in front of our archers here. Of course, we have shields. We have javelins. We'll be careful with our javelins until we're a little closer to a target. There's some horse archers. If I sound a little off, I'm a little under the weather. My wife says I sound sexier like this, so maybe it's a deeper voiced Sean Strickland. I don't feel terrific. I haven't been able to play a lot lately, and of course narrating is difficult as well. You may even hear me mute once or twice if I have to cough. I will try to do so. Try not to get killed at the same time here. Now, I can't see at all in this battlefield, and I have no experience in these games, so I'm at a significant disadvantage here. I think archers would probably play better, of course, because the AI, if you just tell your guys to shoot, just like these horse archers, sees right through these bushes and shoots targets as if there aren't any bushes. I feel a little bit like a diver with a foggy mask. We've got infantry moving in here, so let's go ahead and start kiting. These look like legionnaire or Roman type of units. We can start to fling some javelins. Do a little kiting here. Our archers are with us, so we've got 2 divisions here, sort of. Wow. I throw a javelin, and like a half a second later, it comes flying out from where I was. So you get to see a little bit of the latency in action there. Now, obviously, that's not going to be very helpful here. Now, our archers, for some reason, basically didn't kite at all. Ran up here, so we'll engage here since they're immolating themselves. Like I said, these players, not only are they not coordinating, but you can't expect them to act rational. They have what looks like Fiends or some kind of lower level archer, and they just decided, you know, yeah, legionary, we can take these guys head to head, no problem. Now, as long as the guys don't move, right, I can throw javelins, right, because it's a straight line shot, but this lag is not going to be terrific for my battlefield skills. Do not expect a Wazooban-like performance out of this. Not to mention you're playing other players, right? This is just going to be a different endeavor. Now, I see they're not Fiends. Like my unit, they're like an amalgamation. Of course, you can't have Fiend champions and just destroy everything on the whole map. We've got combat ahead of us, so we're rushing our troops forward. Now, you'd love for the archers to wait behind us, but instead these guys are barreling forward. It's almost like the artificial imbecility has been replaced by practical imbecility. I guess they're just trying to make sure they get up to the lines quickly here and support the rest of the units, but they really should be waiting for infantry. Let's get our guys down here on this ridge. This is a nice little ridge. Throw javelins down on. We can start unleashing hell. There's cavalry here. I see an infantry division moving towards us. We're going to have to kite these guys. That looks like a player. So there are players out here, and I expect these to be elite kitties with pilot fighter reflexes. I remember when I was 20 just mangling everybody. I don't have those reflexes anymore. What we have is tactics, though. This infantry's bearing in on us, so we're moving into a square. I can see the arrows coming in from our left, so we're going to drag this square just like a traditional kill box and pull this enemy infantry right into the range of our archers. We still got flying horses, evidently. Our archers should be scorching these guys here. We're going to continue to pull them to safety here, backs to this little sheep pen or whatever, and let our archers work, and they are doing a pretty good job. Now we can hack it out here with these guys. That's probably their captain, some dude on a horse. And start hacking these guys. What the fuck? Who's shooting? Friendly fire. Oh, fuck. So that's something I'm wholly unused to, obviously, and you guys will be too. Evidently, their players, or that's their player, or their units can shoot you too. So let's get our infantry on the other side of their infantry. That way the archers don't hit us. And I got to be careful here, just coming around the back. You can get hit by your own archers. That is interesting, to say the least, right? After conditioning of thousands of hours of Bannerlord, all of a sudden to be getting trucked by enemy archers. The enemy archers are now being attacked by cavalry, it looks like. Let's go support these guys over here. Oh, there's still... I don't know if this is another division of legionary or that same guy. He's getting wiped out. All right, so... one objective down. This guy says onward. That must be their player. They're sort of raggedy looking archers. They're anything but fiends. They got plaid fucking skirts and shit like that. There's some cavalry here we're sort of skirmishing with. That looks like a Manavliaton on a horse. So the units are totally different. Extraordinarily different. And I want this spear. Well, I was trying to get on a horse. Alright, so we got ourselves a spear. We got like 10 or 20 units left. I mean, at least I haven't been totally ganked. I thought I'd be ripped apart by these elite kitties, but, you know, so far, it could be worse. There goes my horse. All right, let's hold up our defense. I was going to say, hold up our defenses here. I didn't even see how we got killed, but we're down, and I guess we can just pick up our next wildling here. Into battle we go here. The archers are being trampled. It's carnage. We're drilling some bitches with javelins, though. Now, I have no idea how our team's doing because you can't see any of them, right? I imagine you could pull up the menu and see how they're doing. But because of this lack of coordination here, we're just... It's sort of freelancery here. We're over here fighting, trying not to get killed. I can grab myself a horse now. I need one of those Manavlions. We could start doing some real damage here. Of course, that's my traditional skill set. That'll probably be the area I have the most success in. Throwing any kind of ranged weapons. My guys all have the Legionnaire shields. That's amazing. Throwing any kind of traditional ranged weapon is not going to go very well with lag, right? I'm probably better off using like a glaive or a hammer or something like that. I don't see any here. There's a handful of cavalry left, and then we're going to move on to the next objective. Bro, get it over with, some guy writes. I don't know what that means. I think maybe we've lost, and this guy's aggravated that we're not charging or something like that. I have no idea. Someone else says GG, which I think means the match is over. It says there's 2 minutes left. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just running around here. At some point or other, I'll get in the chat box and talk to these fellas. And getting fucking blown up here at the end of this battle. I imagine that's a player. I can't really tell. Like some of the behavior. It doesn't seem very AI-like. This guy's running away from me and shit. We'll play Peekaboo Ridge around this tree here. I got like 10 guys left. I hear a bell ringing. That must mean the round is over. And, well, our team wasn't wiped out, but I think there's some other point system. And evidently it expired. Alright, so I think I'm recording. It doesn't show the little record button, so even though I got a cold, we will just narrate here. We got a new game loaded up. Hopefully we can... a little fresher start here. Again, we're going to try some skirmishers to start. I like having a shield at the beginning here just so that I can slowly observe what's going on. Later on, once we get going here, I will find a horse. I would love like a glaive or an axeman on a horse or something like that. They are definitely speaking in the chat box, and I do not speak that language. So we've got all kinds of communication issues, to say the least. It reminds me of Napoleon's invasion in 1812 into Russia. You got 6 different languages being spoken. Good luck. Charge in one language is halt, and retreat in another language. It's not going to go particularly well. So we'll try to do a little bit of coordination here again with the units that we have. There's some cavalry running up. it's very difficult for me just to tell what's going on here. I got another captain here who's got like a pink tampon above his head. I don't know what that means. It's not a good sign, probably. Now, at least this battlefield we can see, right? We can actually do some tactics here. I've got a legionary guy next to me. There's cavalry there. There's infantry on our right. You know, this is a lot more our style. We've got skirmishers here. We've got, what is this? There's like a pit here. I see there's a flag. So I see how it works. You got to go down to the flag. Those are berserkers going right down here into the water. Kill these fucks. There's a bunch of enemy guys with no armor, and they just waded into the mud pit and got immolated by our javelins. I mean, just a huge barrage here. Our infantry's charging. Of course, I imagine we do some friendly fire here. Let's get our guys to the side. That way there's not as much friendly fire. You know, this is wholly new for me, right? In Bannerlord, you would just open fire and drain all your javelins there. But here, you got to be a lot more intelligent, I guess, with how you're using your ammo. We've got another infantry division of skirmishers here we can flank. The guys in the valley, in the pit there, being destroyed, so we can flank this infantry because they are now going to get attacked on multiple sides. Let's get our guys on their right flank here and push them hard. They're now being driven into by legionaries while we unleash hell. That's a lot more my style. At least I can see and do some basic tactics things. Now it looks like this guy's just guarding this flag. I'm not sure. That must be the game. You know, of course, I don't even know the rules of how this shit works. So talk about out of my depths here. I've got serious latency. The units are literally different. I don't know what kind of units we have or they have. We're Imperials, and I've got some guy with the fucking, he's got a wolf's head and javelins. So needless to say, the learning curve here is pretty immense. I'm not quite certain why they did that. Maybe it's for balancing, why you would make the units totally different than the regular Bannerlord. But it looks like our side here is just content, sitting in the marsh here, holding these flags. It says, so I see A and C on our team. So maybe if you capture 2 of the 3 flags and hold them long enough, you win. I don't know any of the other really game mechanics here, but it definitely seems like we're winning here. We obliterated a couple infantry divisions there. Now I got some oh shit. Spears are nasty. He was a long ways away from me and still did major damage, which I guess makes sense. It's interesting that Tail Worlds would update the spear damage for multiplayer, but not for single player. I mean, that was like a Bannerlord or a realistic battle mod spear. That guy was a long ways away and still took half my health with one spear hit. Bring our guys up here. Do a little more skirmishing. So we like it. Anytime there's infantry against our skirmishers, we like that, right? Our guys are moving pretty quick. We're mobile. We're killing people at range. I imagine they still fight a little bit okay in melee, right? As we close in here for the kill, let's pull a flank. Again, the super delayed javelins is not going to be helpful. Cut some of these guys down, or I guess I got a mace, smash some of them in the face. Our skirmishers are moving in for the kill. And it's fun, right? I'm feeling some exhilaration of battle here. I think we're winning. That always helps, right? But that first battle, obviously, we lost. I don't even know how we lost. I guess the rest of our troops were killed and the enemy had the flags. But here, it's a steamroller, right? Between those 2 divisions that we wiped out early, the rest of their team, it seems like it's been sort of a continuous steamroller here. Running over little sturgeon units here. But that was interesting, right? That was a lot more tactically interesting than that first battle. We can jump on a horse here and try to figure something out. So these horses run around, and evidently every player... These people are leaving the server. They're rage quitting. Evidently, anybody can jump on a horse. That's nice, right? I got a skirmisher on a horse. This is much more my style, of course. I can do some command. Now you can get information, right? It's going to be vital to be on a horse in a situation like this because you can actually see what's going on. Unfortunately, I imagine we're going to see some major dipshittery too. When you don't communicate at all, you're going to have players basically doing whatever they want. In the fire service, we call that freelancing. Online in Bannerlord, when you freelance, you might lose a battle. In the fire service, when guys freelance, they get killed, right? They go in and try to search and rescue a part of the house while the rest of us are pushing the flames towards where we're fighting it, and the guys get all burned up and shit. Freelancing is a major no-no, and so maybe I'm scoffing at it a little more than I should. This is just for fun, right? None of these guys are taking this too seriously, I presume. Although, who knows? There's probably leagues out there. Very long ago, I was part of some fairly competitive online gaming in a game called Dark Age of Camelot. Our group of 8 would run around and just execute everything in sight. Those were fun times, but it also, you get serious unbalance. We would destroy groups of 4, groups of 8, right? And 32 guys, and we would just immolate them. They're not having a lot of fun, and they weren't coordinating, so they don't have much chance, which reminds me of some of my Dodgeball exploits locally. Maybe I'll talk a little bit about that while we wrap this battle up. It looks like this battle's wrapped up here. But Dodgeball's a game that, a lot of people sort of make fun at. I think it's like one of the most primal, medieval, fun combat games of all time, right? Nobody gets killed, I don't think anyways. Even though we had a ruthlessly tough Dodgeball team for 5 or 6 years so locally. We played with the fire department team. We would go to tournaments where it was like a fundraiser and shit, and all the teams had fluffy names like something or other, the Pink Pirates and shit like that, and we were intent to kill, and our guys came wearing war paint, wearing blue war paint like Braveheart, with fucking all kinds of gnarly shit painted on their faces and stuff like that. And we coordinated. We would have multiple players throw a ball at one player based on call signs from a captain, which I usually took control over. We would do feint attacks on one side and then flank the enemy hard on the left, very much like Bannerlord. And I have a cannon of a throwing arm, and combined with a few other alpha males on the fire department team, we really obliterated the league bad for several years in a row. It actually got to the point where the league basically raged quit. Stop wasting time, this guy says. I don't know if I'm supposed to do something or if he's supposed to just suicide. That's what it looks like. He's supposed to just suicide, I guess. So 3-0. I guess we win that round. All right. Well, on to the next game. This guy's apologize. Okay. So I assume we start a new round, show you a little bit more. I don't know how much I'm going to play today. You guys can tell that I sound like shit. I'm going to try to share this episode as soon as I can upload this later today, and we will kind of see how this goes. I don't know if this is going to be a significant part of the channel. The bottom line is that, our channel focuses on tactics, and tactics in Bannerlord, to me, is the core of the game. You can do it for the campaign and character creation, stuff like that. But there's much better RPGs and probably much better campaign style games. Bannerlord, if you look at the different areas that Bannerlord has, I think by far its best part is combat, with the tactics, with all the different units, the pretty good balance the game has, all the different battlefields. I think that's the focus. And online Bannerlord, in theory, should be incredibly fun, right? You've got all these different tactics and stuff that you can do. But alas, right, when you're online like this, I have control over one division. Unless you guys know of some other way that I can have 2 divisions, you can only control one division. And so what you're left with is, it's a little bit like the online version. I haven't played one of the sieges, but I saw a siege, and it really did look like 100 different amoebas all just bouncing off each other in a lab sample. The guys were swinging swords. Everybody was spinning and running around erratically, bouncing off each other. Guys were scoring kills, but it seemed quite random. There was virtually no tactics, no shield wall, no line formation, no feints, nothing. Right, like I said, guys were just running around. It looked like essentially a bunch of angry 20-year-olds who haven't been laid recently, exerting their anger by rapidly pushing buttons. And apologies if that resembled you from 5 years ago or something like that. That was probably all of us at that age. But we got a warm-up phase. Evidently, I can run around with my mace here. Got some motherfucker chasing me. They say he did 35 damage, but I hardly took any health. I don't know. I know nothing about this. So this, I guess, we're waiting for the players to pick their army or some shit. I've got a big club is what it looks like. I've got a gigantic iron dildo. The original fucking iron dildo. And again, my javelin skills, I should probably not pick an, you know, a skirmisher. For this battle, we're going to go ahead and try shock troops, right? We'll try, of course, fans of the channel know that I love running around with a two-handed weapon, and we'll see how this goes. So it looks like you have small little inputs you can make. We'll take faster shock troops, right? That's always imperative with shock troops. I don't need more damage. I don't need better armor. I want to close on the enemy so that tactically we can flank, retreat, feint attack, stuff like that. I don't know how it works when guys quit. Maybe the rest of us get more troops. You know, of course, that would happen when I would play Dark Age of Camelot. Someone would lag out in the middle of an 8-on-8 battle and a critical battle, and the battle was just over, right? If it's all of a sudden 7 versus 8, we would win once in a while, but a lot of the times, you know, if you lose a couple players in a 5-on-5, you're just fucked. Now, the visuals for this online are outstanding. This battlefield, like to the developers, man, please put this into some of the custom battle menus for the game, right? This is a brilliant looking battlefield. There's all kinds of, it looks like a village setting here with a castle in the background. There's kind of a dust or a fog in the air, which probably favors shock troops, right? If you can't see very well, that means the enemy all of a sudden is going to be kind of right on top of our shock troops. That's probably good, because that means that we'll be able to get our meat-cleaving giant dildo hands onto the enemy. Now, I'm trying to coordinate somewhat. I've got 2 or 3 other divisions here that we're sort of sticking close to. Anytime you have shock, right, you need shields. So we're going to be sticking next to a couple shield divisions here. Might even try using the chat box a little bit here. I've got a bunch of divisions way out in front. Trying to keep an eye on where I'm at. There's another shock troop division here as well. And I see pink. I see enemy infantry on the far side over there, sort of fighting with our camels. Let's tuck in here. In fact, I see lots of enemy come down these steps. Let's take cover here underneath the rocks. I don't know if they can even see our shock troops here. This stairway here, we'll take a look at what we got here. We've got infantry moving towards a flag, the C flag, push the enemy out. And how many forces they got here? 1, 2. That's probably 3. There's another one at the base of the stairs. 4 armies. So this is a nice little classic battle. We've got some archers spraying arrows over from our left. But there's going to be a big brawl here. We've got 2 or 3 infantry divisions here setting up at our flag. The enemy looks like they have legionnaire or they've got some phalanxes building up here. They all look like heavy infantry with shields. But our shock troops like that, right? Our shock troops are eager to fight guys with shields. We'll break that shit up. But as this dipshit camel guy comes barreling in here. Oh, okay, we got some guys on the left as well. We're going to maintain our position here. Either way, we're going to blindside enemies that come down these channels. If they come down this stairway here, I don't know if they can see my character. Certainly, if they come down to our right here, we're going to be able just to flank the shit out of them. It's nice we got some camels here for mobility. Now, if they're communicating, they can see us, right? Because the guys that are down here can say, hey, careful, there's shock troops fucking lurking right around that corner. That's beautiful. So the camel and the infantry over there are taking advantage that there's an isolated infantry pocket on the left. I like that, right? Finally, some tactics, or on our right, I apologize. And now the enemy looks like they're considering coming down. This is good, right? What we need shield infantry here to come support us. If I charge that, especially 1-on-2, we will get butchered. But if we can get some shield infantry, here we go. It's almost like you guys are listening to me. Get some shield infantry and make a press. We will come flank whatever side the enemy is weaker on. Now, we got 48 troops. I got 48 shock troops. And it looks like they did destroy that infantry division over there, right? So that's like the hockey equivalent to a power play. We now have a manifest advantage on the enemy. And now it's time to kill the prey here. Let's see if they can even communicate. Lead with the square. Send that infantry in the shield wall. The cavalry's kind of attacking them from behind. Get in there, boys. Archers are pinning the enemy down. Our shock troops are ready. We just need this infantry to press in, and then we're going to look for a weak spot. That's just fun, right? I'm exhilarated. I'm feeling some fucking adrenaline. These are real players you're jousting against, right? So it's not stupid AI that just immolates itself instantly. I can definitely see the attraction to this, but I can also see the frustration at this, right? Oh, here we go. All right, good. Let's go, boys. We've got 2 different infantry divisions coming in, a shock troop division, and they've got 2 or 3 divisions. Let's push in hard. They've got a few javelin throwers, but I'm not worried about that. Let's take this right side. It's open. Push in hard, fellas. And we should be able to steamroll our way through here. I got a gigantic spear or a javelin or something. It looks like they're throwing the pylons. Let's wrap up this left flank here on these 2 guys. Pull these guys over to us. Oh, shit. See, the spears in this game are deadly. 78 damage. And then I got hit with a throwing javelin. You know, obviously a massive learning curve, right? That spear, you would have snickered in online or in regular Bannerlord. If some guy comes up to you with the spear, that's basically a sign that says I'd like to be killed immediately. Spears are utterly hapless in the single player game. But that was annihilation right there. I think that was 3-on-2, and that was the advantage that we conferred from earlier when we destroyed that infantry division. Still a ping over 200. Guys are saying WTF. I've got the worst ping on the server, which is weird because I have a ripping fast connection and a really good computer. It's a good kill ratio though, right? We're doing 12 to 1 kill ratio so far on the channel. Admittedly, we were basically the mop-up crew there. Goddamn thing. I've been narrating for at least 8 minutes and it wasn't recording, but we're recording now and we finally have an axeman. We've got an axeman with a bow. It's a very odd unit. This is a sturgeon. We have a sturgeon horseman, but this is more my style, right, fellas? Let's go in here with our axe. Let's look for targets of opportunity. We can position horse archers on the flank. This is an interesting map. There's a couple flags down in the valley, and there's a bridge that goes over the top of the valley. I give Tailworlds major credit. The battlefield maps, and maybe some of these are made by players, I don't really know. I had to download some shit just to get into this. But kudos on these maps, right? This feels just like single-player Bannerlord, just cut down a bunch of peasants. They've got crossbow here in a nice position on these rocks. So we're going to have to try to get horse archers to flank them. Right, this is where Nelson's crossing of the T works for Bannerlord, right? If you've got a bunch of crossbows in a position where they're in a straight line, just get flanking fire on them, and even your missed arrows will still hit their archers. Now, what do we got going on down here? Is this a player? This looks like a... Oh, you lucky fucker. He just barely dodged. Okay, this is good. We've got guys here in the center. The flag looks like it's under assault here by both sides. We're going to try to flank these guys with archer fire. Here's their commander. Fucking dead man. You didn't avoid that one. Let's get archers lined up right through the circle here. They can basically shoot right through the hole in the forest there. I don't see any ranged units down there, although those are skirmishers. Let's give them a little distance here. That way, if they do throw javelins, it does barely any damage. We've got flanking fire. The rest of the guys can approach from the center. It's a little bit of tactics. That last battle, unfortunately, that I don't think recorded, had a lot of tactics. We had a savage backdoor flank that we coordinated. We've done a little bit of communication in the chat room, but I had a guy say most of these players don't speak English. So obviously the language barrier is very present. They're starting to retreat. We've got horse archers. What are those? Okay, those guys have some kind of weapon. They have spears and like crossbows. So we'll maintain our position right here. We've got a little bit of a peekaboo ridge on them. If they come down, they will get smoked. I can swing in behind them. In fact, we might be able just to swing in all of this cavalry right behind them. Blind sides are definitely a thing online. Not so much for the AI, but for players, right? This player probably can't see where I am right now, and I doubt they have communication, right? So we can just blitz right through from behind, cut down some of these crossbow. Still, the delay is not so fun to play with. In fact, this might be enough alone for me to not want to play online Bannerlord. I swing my axe and like I have to wait, and then it swings. I would probably get used to it, but I'm not sure I want to. Now, you can actually hit your own units in melee. This is another thing I learned. I want to, you know, a lot of you guys have probably already played this kind of shit. Look at that. 19 damage to my own horse. I'm getting shot. Oh, shit. That would do a lot of damage too. These are sharpshooters. Evidently sharpshooters with no shields. So that might be part of the process where you can simply choose their loadout. Now, I don't know why you would choose a sharpshooter with no shield. That's basically like... I would like a wife with no boobs. You know, this is one of the major perks. Apologies to those fellas out there who've had a gal with breast cancer, right? You know, this is a thing people struggle with. So they've got a line of tough infantry here, kind of in the center, and it looks like they're just trying to hold out. The flag things, they affect those little stars up top. I don't know the system particularly well, but that's why they're camping on that shit. You acquire a flag, and then if you sit on it long enough, those little stars build up, and when your side has all the stars, all of a sudden the match is over, right? Basically, in other words, you don't have to destroy the enemy, you can just capture the flag, which is kind of an interesting strategic component of this. Forever ago, I would play like a Quake and shit like that. That guy was holding a spear brace. So these are sharpshooters with a spear brace. Again, so to say the learning curve is steep here is just an understatement. I mean, I might as well be playing Bannerlord 3. This is highly, highly unique. That guy, again, was 20 feet away from me with the spear. That might be the lag effect, too, and he just one-shot me with his spear. Which I suppose is, you know, it's a nice balancing. Is that the player just sitting on his horse like a dipshit? Catch an arrow, dipshit. Yeah, that woke him up. But we're closing in on these guys. There's a giant fort right here. I wonder if there's a flag in there. I don't see any. I mean, now we're talking, right? Get some castle sieges online like this. That might be really interesting. But this match looks like it's over as well. The enemy's trying to hold out here with a line of a little phalanx here in the center of the valley, and we're surrounding them. Wake up, bitches. These are sergeants. But I don't like their position, right? They're surrounded. They're doing their best. Like, this is good. The player, I almost said the AI. The player's forming a square, but you just don't have any chance. Shot from every direction. Attacked by axes. Each time I die, I can just take a new one of these characters, including this gal right here. We can just lean in on them with this mean female. It's kind of interesting. The units are mixed sexes. But this match should be over. Now, the star's going up. I see their little red star over there is going up, right? Very slowly. But I don't think they can win this battle, right? We have a lot of time left. They have to fill out 3 more of those, I think, before they win by time. Now we've got all our cav in here just rampaging, and they're toast, right? Just getting pounded with battle axes. The infantry moves in, and this match is over. Carve this guy down. Oh, shit. And you got these elite kitties with their 50 or 20 ping or whatever. We don't have much chance against that. And this battle's over. This guy's teabagging him. Man, you kids, don't do that shit, right? Fucking disgraceful shit. I mean, I guess it's all in fun, but let's not sexually desecrate the enemy. All right, you know, we're ripping a 3-to-1 KDR here. That's not bad. In fact, it looks a lot better than everybody else. All right, so we've got a final match here. I think I'll keep recording. My voice is kind of cracking. I apologize, fellas, although it's hardly my fault. These fucking microbes. I've got some kind of viral lung infection. I'll probably be dead within a week. But until I die, we'll be making some episodes here. You guys can enjoy the deep voice sounding Sean Strickland. And a little bit of tactics here. See what we can do in this 5th match. So I think it's best of 5. It's never a good idea to eat arrows. Attacking them is better. I think this guy's talking shit. Okay. We will leave that. Maybe we'll talk a little bit of shit, right? We'll do some trolling here just to aggravate people. I'm hoping that kind of shit goes away, but I guess boys will be boys, right? And there's always bullying and there's always rage quitting and people get upset. Maybe we can tilt them out psychologically. Add some psychological warfare to this. That was part of our gig with Dodgeball, right? We would come in and they would have all these fluffy names. And we came in all these ripped out 6'2", 230-pound muscular firefighters winging dodgeballs like they're bullets. And they got all their fluffy names and we're intent to kill. You know, it's right away, the enemy's already intimidated. And then you come in and you're yelling out, Charlie, Echo, left quarter, Charlie. And the enemy is fucking intimidated. Then 4 balls coming in 100 miles an hour at guys drilling them in the fucking chest. And yeah, unfortunately, that league actually, they basically, everybody rage quit. There has not been a dodgeball tournament in 6 years, 5 or 6 years. I want to say thanks to, or unfortunately because of the coordination that we had on that dodgeball team. A lot of tournaments we went undefeated. We didn't even lose the individual games. It's like best of 5 or best of 3. We would just sweep everybody aside. You know, and it reminds me a little bit of my game in Dark Age of Camelot. And I imagine online Bannerlord is like this as well. It's based on my experience in the single player. That's definitely the case. These kids were running around, moving unbelievably fast. I felt like a fucking a pinball. I could barely run away from guys. I'd get run down. It seemed like they were moving faster than me. I had a peasant and they had like a fucking knight or a mounted dude. And I was just like holding up a shield, trying not to get killed the whole battle. You know, you can get unbalanced if they don't do things to balance it. I learned, you know, towards the end of my little session, a one-on-one, that you can actually get better equipment and like better units if you kill more, which is a snowball effect, right? I don't think that's a good idea, because then the game starts to resemble a Bannerlord campaign where you're up against Wazuban and you have 600 peasants. You're never going to win. Now these archers, I have no idea why they're not kiting. They started kiting. They're still not kiting. Kite, motherfuckers. They're just standing there while shield infantry bear in. We'll try to help here, but these guys, you know, and you can't blame players, right? Some of these guys don't know what they're doing. But these guys are literally trying to fight it out against sergeants, and they're getting cut apart. I don't think we can really support, too. It's not like I have a great line of breaking up cavalry here. We'll support as we can here, but these archers should have kited 3 minutes ago. And I think that perfectly encapsulates so far my experience with Bannerlord Online. You will experience some battles where it's ecstasy, where the tactics are coordinated, and you will experience other battles like this. I probably won't even show a couple of those early ones, especially because I wasn't narrating very much. But I had a battle where I was with 2 other archer corps, 3 archer corps, and we had 2 infantry bear in on the 3 of us. And they started beelining our group because we were the closest. That was intentional. Well, we all started kiting, and I was like, yeah, kill box time, bitches. We had enough distancing. We were kiting successfully. The sergeants, like 100 sergeants, were pouring in on us. And I watched the other 2 archer divisions, and I was like, oh, beautiful. They're running the exact, 120 degree, 135 degree away from us. We're going to be able to turn and kill box. And they kept fucking running. And they never turned around. And our division got chased down by 100 sergeants to the very edge of the map. And by that point, I was like one of these elite kiddies in the chat box. I was like, what the fuck are you doing? You don't fucking turn around at all to support your other units? That wasn't kiting. That was straight out fucking running to the edge of the battlefield. And I think that's a good encapsulation of what you can expect with Bannerlord Captain mode. And I think this will be the last battle I fight for this. I've recorded about an hour and a half, but I'm probably going to do some editing here. I would say this is very interesting and a good way to keep Bannerlord fresh. But I see 2 major problems. First, you're either going to go into battles like this with no coordination, and if you want to have coordination, it's going to be unbelievably frustrating. This really does resemble the single-player version, just you have, 40 troops of your own. Or you're going to be in a scenario where you expect, or more accurately, you'll be in situations where you expect your guys to do something and they do something totally illogical, right? That's going to happen all throughout human history. So it's definitely going to happen to online Bannerlord. Or you're going to have a coordinate, like say 4, 5, 6 of us all got together in Discord and said, hey, we're joining this server at 5 p.m. Pacific time next week. We're going to play 3 hours twice a week. And we're going to communicate with a TeamSpeak or whatever, whatever modern version of, oh shit, my player got launched. Whatever modern version of communication they have, Twitch or whatever. And we would just destroy everything in sight and make everybody quit. Like unfortunately, I don't see a lot of happy middle ground in between that. Now, the servers are also not very full, and it might be because of that reasoning, right? Maybe some group coordinated and had a bunch of 5, 6 guys running around, and they just completely butchered and destroyed everything in sight. That seems likely to have happened at some point, and maybe that's why instead of 10,000 people playing online Bannerlord, maybe that's why there's 100. Again, the spears are 25 feet long. Careful of spears. But this match looks like it's over as well. We've got far more troops. We've done a couple devastating flank attacks here. try to kill this player. There's always satisfaction. Yeah, get on your horse there, dude. Oh, see, there's my lag. I shoot, and the guy is not where I shot at. But enough complaining like a bitch. Just wanted to give you guys a little window into online Bannerlord here. I won't show probably the single player just because I got my ass kicked so hard. I don't know what I'm doing. 5 minutes or so of getting bounced around. I killed a couple guys immediately with shots in the head with javelins, and it was all downhill from there. So anyways, you guys get a little picture of online Bannerlord here, multiplayer Bannerlord. This is Captain's mode. This is on whatever the latest version is. I would say it's not without enjoyment, right? But just be prepared to be frustrated. Expect the unexpected. Expect your companions to act like foes almost. Run around, have a good time. Cut down some sharpshooters. And you can try a little tactics, right? It's not bereft of tactics. There's just very limited tactics you can do. And be careful of those fucking spears. All right, fellas. I'm going to wrap this episode up. I appreciate you guys. Please hit that like button on the way out. And with all that said, I will see you friends next time.